Hi, this is Sumit K. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to cover Google Cloud Code. The agenda of this session is to focus on Google Cloud Code and Google Cloud supported IDEs and what are the features of the Cloud Code and what IDE that Cloud Code supports and how we can use the Cloud Code to deploy our application into the Cloud Run. So we'll see this in demo. Let's first understand Google Cloud Code and how it helps the developers. Okay, so Google Cloud Code is basically an extension that brings many Google Cloud services, and those services could be a GKE and Cloud Run, Cloud Functions, APG, and there are many more services that are integrating with this Cloud Code extensions. So those services you can directly use into your IDE, and so you can develop your application without having to switch the context, or it is basically a hassle free. So basically, cloud code is a set of tools designed to make your the developer journeys more smoother and faster and more efficient. Whether you are building a Kubernetes and cloud run applications, or you are creating an APIs using the APG, cloud code has your back. So basically, in the behind the scene, cloud code is a set of IDE plugins for your popular IDEs that you use, and it is easier to create, deploy, and integrate your application with the Google Cloud. So Cloud Code has many features. We will cover this in the upcoming slide. But what problems that we are solving with the Google Cloud Code? So imagine if you are building a simple website. So what do you do? I mean, to deploy this simple application. So you could manually configure writing the code, right? And then you configure the servers, and then you configure maybe the pipeline, then you deploy it in yourself. So there are a lot of steps that you have to follow, right, to make this simple application onto your cloud run, or maybe onto the Kubernetes. But with the cloud code, you can use cloud run, which removes the need to manage the servers. You can use the cloud build to automate the pipelines and the deployment process, and you can also use the duty AI to catch any errors, or maybe the duty AI can help you to writing the codes, right? So basically this free you up to focus on designing on your application deployment, right? So let's go to the few next slide. So here are the supported IDEs. You can use this cloud code with your VS Code or IntelliJ or JetBrains IDEs, and the supported language as of now is Go, Java, Node.js, Python, and .NET Core. So how did you install Cloud Code? It's very easy. You can install the Google Cloud extension from the Visual Code Marketplace, or alternatively, you can just open your IDE and just search for the extension and simply install it. It's pretty easy. I'll show it in the demo. So here are some of the features that you need to understand. So code with assistant from the DTI. So Cloud Code integrate with the DTI and AI powered collaborator to simplify your development. So you can use the DTI to accomplish some of the tasks more efficiently, and then you can also deploy your application to Kubernetes engine. So you can create and run a new application with the Cloud Code GKE support, and you can also work on existing application, and you can customize its YAML file with the cloud codes, and you can run it in on any of your GKE cluster. So regardless of your workflow, cloud code helps you spend less time on the configuration, and it can help you to context switching, so you can focus on developing your app. And then you have cloud run services. So we will also see how you can deploy your application to the cloud run. So we'll cover this third item, develop cloud run service. And there are many other features. You can also deploy onto the cloud functions. I mean, develop your cloud functions locally. You can also create your container image. You can manage the secrets. If you're using the database, you can even manage the secret services from the Google Cloud APIs within in your IDEs, and you can manage the secrets in your app. You can also browse for the cloud APIs. Let's say you want to use your application to be to have the backend from Cloud SQL database or data store. So you can enable those API within the IDE, and if you want, you can develop your APIs from the APG. right? So there are a lot of things that you can see. You can, this part is very important, right? Developer, most of the time, developer creates the APIs and they create the API proxy. So using this cloud code, you can integrate it, and you can have everything on your IDE. So developing for Cloud Run can be a challenging. Yes, it is challenging because building a container well requires expertise, and then setting up your environment for communication with cloud APIs can be tough, right? And then you have containers. Containers are awesome for the portability of the workload, but it's very hard, because of its debugging and iterative deployment, right? So context switching, if you are using the Cloud Console and G-Cloud work, using Cloud Console and G-Cloud works great. However, constant context switching slows the development flow. So we will see that. So this is what we are going to cover. Using this tool, you need for the cloud native development and leveraging your favorite OS or IDE language and cloud. So we will deploy this container into a cloud run, and we will debug all this into our local machine before we deploy into the cloud run, and then we will see our services and logs. So here is the Google Cloud Code extension with IDE. I'll show you. Let me just switch over to my IDE. This is the official page if you want to learn about the cloud code. So this is my Google Cloud Console, and here is my IDE. Let me show you. I'm using the Visual Studio Code, and just to install Cloud Code, what you need to do, just select on the extension, and here you need to search for Cloud Code. Google Cloud Code. See, this is since I have already installed this, I don't need to reinstall. So if in your case, you just need to install it. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I am into my Visual Studio Code. This is the ID that I use. So to install Cloud Code, you just need to click on this extension and look for Cloud Code, and you will see this Google Cloud Code. So just install it from here. Okay, and once done, you will see a similar icon like that. So you'll see this icon. Once you click on this, you will get some get some options here, like Kubernetes, Cloud Run, apps, secret manager, whatever features that we have discussed. So you can see here. And to in order to deploy an application into the Cloud Run, you first need to authenticate to your Google Cloud Console. So from here, if you will see some options here. So once you click on that, you need to just authenticate to your Google Cloud. So once you get authenticated, now I want to deploy an application to the Cloud Run. So let's imagine, being a developer, I want to deploy an application using my IDE, and I don't want to go from Google Cloud Console, and I don't want to manage those pipelines. I don't want to write those YAMLs, complicated YAMLs files. So things are very complicated, right? So now I have this cloud code integrated with the extension in my IDE. I can use the cloud code to deploy an application very efficiently and faster. So to deploy a sample application, what you're going to need to do, just click on this my project. So basically, I already authenticated to my Google Cloud Console. You can see that this is my project, right? So you'll see this option. So what I'm going to do, the moment you click it, you will see those options like new application, run on Kubernetes, debug on Kubernetes, run on Cloud Run. There are a lot of things, right? So let's deploy a new application, and here you will see multiple options. So I'm going with the Cloud Run application, and you can choose any language of your preference. I'm going to selecting Python, and I'm saying Python Flask. So you need to save it in your so this will save it as a directory. Okay, so see, it is going to copy the sample Python application source code, right? So you'll get this option here. Okay, what is that? Just scroll down. Okay, so now I have this source code, cloned by the cloud code. So you can see all the details, like your source code, the Docker files, right, and the README file, and everything is there. So what you're gonna need to do, you'll see some options here, Cloud Run Hello World with the Cloud Code. So this is a very beautifully explaining everything what you need to do. So before deploy this application to Cloud Run, I want to deploy this application into my local machine. But you need to remember that one thing is that you need to remember Cloud Code will not work on your local machine until and unless you don't have this Docker client installed. So you must have this Docker client installed. Let me show you. I have this Docker client installed in my. It's a Docker desktop basically, and within the Docker desktop, you will get your mini Kubernetes or minikube from the Docker desktop. So all these things are required. So make sure you first install the Docker desktop, and once you have this Docker desktop and a good, and also you would also need kubectl to be installed as a CLI and the Git and the all these supported dependencies. So once you have that, you can deploy your application to the Cloud Run. So what I'm going to do now, simply go to, okay, this is the simply go to here and go to Cloud Run. So I'm going to deploy my container on local machine. So there are three options. You can see here the option is if you hover into this, create a new Cloud Run application. I don't want. I have the source code ready. So I want this want to run this app on a local cloud, and this is a debug option. Let's just deploy onto the local cloud, local machine. Okay. So here the build is local, right? And I'm going to select the Docker because I have this Docker is already installed. You can also select the builder build packs, but I'm just going with the Docker only since I have the Docker file is in my source code. This is my Docker file, so it will build my image. Okay. Okay. So simply run it. So it's gonna take a few seconds. So you can see that it is deploying your application locally. So the minikube profile, cloud and dev internals. Basically, a minikube has been deployed by the Docker desktop, right? So you can see that this is the cloud and dev internal. This is like a container where your minikube is running to host your applications, right? To host your this Python Flask application. So you can see that deployment has been started and deployment is completed. If you want to just see this service, just click on this. You can just copy this and go to your browser. So you can see that your application is running. Congratulations, it's running. And you can see this is a Python Flask application Hello World 2. Okay, so this application is not running on your cloud. It is running on your local host because you are still doing some debugging. So once your debugging and debugging is finished, you can then deploy to the Google Cloud Run. So basically, if you need to debug your application, you can use the Cloud Code debugging tab, and Cloud Code will connect to your application running on Google Cloud Platform or maybe local, right? So now, if you want to see here, you can just use this option, Cloud run debug locally, detailed mode. So you will see all the details, right? You're seeing your detail how you're serving Flask applications, right? And so all this, application related information, you will get it from here. Now what happened, let's go to your code and this is your template index.html. Let's say you want to change something. Let's switch over to this locally. Now you will see the magic here. Let's say if you want to have do some changes in your application, maybe with some versions, right? So I am adding here, hello guys. The moment I saved it, Control S, you'll see something here. See, the build has automatically started. right? So what happened whenever you change something in an application, the build is going to be initiate automatically, and the deployment will be automatically started. So you can see that now if I try to hit my application, you will see here, you will see some changes, right? See, hello guys, right? So this is how your cloud code, automatically detect the changes, and it deploy your application into the local. So if you want to, uh, if you want to debug your application, maybe some code was incorrect, then what you're gonna do, you go to this cloud code, and you see this option, right? Debug app on a uh, local run emulator. So you can use this option to debug your app. Since in my code I do not have any bugs or any error, I don't want to do it. Now everything is fine. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to deploy this on my cloud run. So how you do that? It's simple. uh, just go to this option. Do you see that? Deploy this cloud one. Just click on that, and it is fetching my project. Since I am already authenticated, it doesn't ask me second time to authenticate. So now it is saying what, create service. Yes, service name is this. I want to name it like the cloud Baba hello world, and I'm going to, is it okay? Yeah, now it's fine. uh, I'm selecting my region. So see, it's very simple, right? So as a being a developer, you find everything in your IDE because of this code extension, right? I'm selecting my region now. Allow on authentication invocation, fine. And this is the image that will be built and saved. And the service account is up to you. And this time, okay, local is fine. The build is local, fine. And here I'm saying deploy. So it is taking some time. If you will see this option here green, and this, if you want to stop, you can stop deploying this service, or even if you can restart it, there are many options, or you can pause it. So my local application is still running. If you just go to the cloud run and refresh it, you will see a cloud service soon here. Right now it's not built. Just wait for a couple of minutes. I think it's done. You can see that your deployment is completed, and here is the URL. And on the left hand side, you can see your service is now green. And let's just confirm from your Google Cloud Console. Let's refresh it. So you can see that, right? The TheCloudBaba Hello World is there. So you don't need to go to console when everything is here. You just need to click this URL, and you will see the same result, right? The one that you are seeing on your local host, right? So now if you go to your IDE, and you will see here some more options, let me show you, like the service name, the URL, the region, the deployment platform. There are other features that that you can see from here. The revision name, the container image, the traffic that is you know um, hitting to these services, the percent of traffic, the port number, the auto scaling of 3 container instance, and all these three things you can see that, right? If you want to see the logs, you can just click on these three bars items, and you can also see the logs in your IDE. So you can see that, right? Whatever is happening in your application, the logs are printing here. So as being a developer, you don't want to switching the context from here and there. Everything is on your local machine. So you are deploying the code, you are debugging your code, you are deploying the application locally, you are debugging your application locally within the minikube. And then once everything is fine, once your expected code is ready, then you can simply deploy it to your cloud run into the Google Cloud, right? So that's it for now. I will be covering a video on how to deploy application into the Kubernetes. We will see using the Google Code Cloud, sorry, Cloud Code, and we will see on various other demos on like how to deploy a cloud function locally and how to deploy it on the Google Cloud platform. There are a lot of things that we can cover. So I'll see you in the next demo. And so Cloud Code is a wonderful tool that can help the developers to deploy and debug their application on on Google Cloud platform. If you want to learn more, then I would recommend you to visit the official website. This is a very nice official document. You can get everything over here, even the demos, how to perform the demos on various features, like how to work with the Kubernetes, how to work with the Cloud Run, and work with the Cloud Function, how you can develop APIs with the APG, and there are multiple custom samples. So everything you'll get it here. And how do you want to if you're facing any issue to set up the cloud code, then you can also see this official document where you find everything, including this dependency. All right, so I'll see you in next video. Thank you. Bye bye.